Hey, this is Syntekk tutorial, following on the Catch the Clown tutorial. This one's for programmers. First, since our sprites haven't added any more sprites, we're just going to make alpha sprites. Since there's 3 new characters in this one, the human, and there's 2 monsters. So we're going to create some new sprites. Let's just create a group called alpha. And under this, we'll create the SPR human. SPR monster 1. And SPR monster 2. Now, this isn't really important, just so we can assign a sprite to them. So we just need to select them and by pressing this button. Just choose color. And by pressing this button, we'll just fill it in. Done, done, done. Wait, sorry. Make sure transparent is unclicked. Do the same with all of them. Just give them a color. It's no big deal. What? Okay, now the sprites have made nicer ones of those, but all we need to do is program them. So we're going to go into objects. We're going to start with obj monster 1. Let's call it that. Give it our alpha sprite monster 1. And we want this one, we're going to want to move left and right and bounce off walls going only left or right. So that's creation event. We select this one, have it randomly moving either this direction or this direction. And we'll make the speed, let's say 5. Okay. And yeah, and if it collides with the wall, so collision event wall, then we want it to move in the opposite direction, horizontally. So we'll select reverse horizontal. So that's the reverse horizontal direction. So with that, it'll be able to bounce off the walls. And next object, obj monster 2. For this, we'll use the sprite monster 2. No parent or anything. Its creation. Now this one's going to go vertical randomly. Speed of, what do you say, 5. And then for its collision event with the wall, we're going to need it to move in the opposite direction, reversed vertically. Okay, and now here's the little harder one. Obj human. So let's use our alpha human sprite right here. Now, there's not really anything that's happening in the creation event, so we'll just leave that. But the first thing we got to take care of is with the keyboard. We're going to direct on the keyboard, with the mouse keys, so we're just going to press the keyboard with the left button. So with the left one, move left. And so we just press, whenever it's pressed, it's going to jump to position relative to itself. So we got to make sure it's relative so that it won't move to that precise position. So X axis is horizontal, and since left is horizontal, we're just going to be modifying the X axis. And just keep in mind that you're just going to have to memorize that to the left is always negative on the x-axis. So that'll be -4. We'll make it -4. You can make it -6 or something like that if you want. Make it go a little faster, but we'll do -4. And just now let's add to the right. And the right is also horizontal, so x-axis, and to the right is positive. So we'll make that one 4. Make sure it's relative. Also do up, jump, and so this is vertical because up and down are vertical. So you have the y-axis. So just keep that in mind. So make it -4 and make sure it's relative. And then down, also relative. This one's positive 4. That's how the walking's gonna work with the arrow keys with our human. we also want that if it collides with a clown, we want the game to restart. So to do that, let's see. This is the restart. And there's also this thing, the score I told you about earlier. Well, in the previous tutorial, you get a score. Let's have it show the high scores menu when it collides. So you can mess around with this all you want, but it really doesn't. I'm not going to really do anything with this right now. And then another thing, if it collides with the monsters, either of the monsters, we also want the same thing to happen. Where is it? Well, I want to show high scores. Then after that, sorry. Restart game. And right, same thing here. Start game. And high scores. Make sure high scores first. Otherwise, it'll kind of mess up. If you might have noticed already, it's kind of weird that we have 3 of the exactly same one, and once we make more monsters, only get more, so the skill will fill up. To lessen that, we can use a trick, which we can call like we'll create a new object, create object, call it obj monster or something like that. Now we'll tell our object human that we'll just press Control and then click on that. Control C, and if it collides with our object monster, Control V, we want that to happen. And now here's a trick that comes very handy in programming. So the monster 1, if we make its parent object monster, let's make all 3 of these object monster. So I can delete all these now. Now, I don't know exactly how to explain this, but the thing is, the object monster is the parent of these 3 objects. Therefore, if I'm talking about object monster, all these 3 would fall into that category. So, for instance, if the object human collides with object monster 2, then it would be considered object monster, and this would happen because object monster is parent of monster 2. Okay. I think that's more or less most stuff we're going to do with the tutorial. Okay, one more thing. We're going to create a new room for this part. And since we don't want the clown to go out of the room, we're going to make an invisible wall, so the clown will go out of the room. So let's call this wall invisible or something. And so for this trick is to unclick the visible part. And we need to give it a sprite, so we'll add another alpha sprite. I don't know if I explained this yet, but alpha is kind of like the word for it means sprite that aren't yet taken care of. Sprites are just put in there so you can see them, but aren't completely finished yet. So this one we're going to call sprite wall invisible. Well, this sprite is going to be invisible, so it really doesn't make a big difference. As long as the idea is, if we don't give it a sprite, then it won't be clear to the computer when you collide with it. So it's important to have a sprite still. So we'll give it that. Invisible. And then we're done. think, yeah, that's about it. You've now learned how to program an extra 2 monsters and the human. Syntekk tutorial. Hope you learned something. That was